if you look on TF Backpack, in terms of the breakdown unusuals, the most expensive and the most well known is of course the Burning Team Captain, priced at 6,600 keys. 7 of them exist, but others may be in private backpacks. Then you have all the way down. Then you have them going down to around the cheapest unusuals around 33 keys for something like bubbling. So Scorching is second. Scorching looks pretty good. I think there are quite a few dupe Scorchings around, which brings the price down. But there are other team captains here, which like the portal effects, which I think there's only 1 of those and 3 of those. I think they're underpriced, and certainly this one here, Haunted Phantasm Jr. is also, I think, and that one there, of course, Ghastly Ghost Jr. is also relatively underpriced. So there are a lot of good effects for a team captain. The average price of one of these hats is typically around 300 odd keys, and I think they are an interesting hat, and they are a historic hat. Whether or not you go for this, I mean, there's videos about how much what else you could buy with them, but there's a fairly steep, like many of these hats, there's a fairly steep fall off. This here is the green bat, and one exists, and it's 1,000 keys, and yet this is Scorching, and it's more, and sometimes it's hard to see exactly why. Here, Harvest Moon is particularly popular. Bonzo down here. I think there are some hats that probably need more recognition. There's also some hopeless hats, which I think maybe Vivid Plasma is a little bit more expensive relative to some of the other ones lower down. Anyway, overall, however, they're a nice hat. Some of them remain unpriced, like Hellfire, Storm in 13th Hour, Starstorm Slumber. There's only one hat with Starstorm Slumber. I think that's in my inventory off memory. Anyway, so very rare to have them with the newer Halloween effects. Okay, this is Fat Stormtrooper. I'm from Daft Chicken Gaming. Today we're talking on Team Captains. The Team Captain is basically a community created multi-class cosmetic for the Soldier, Heavy and Medic, but no other classes. So it's 3 classes rather than all class. Basically the cosmetic differs in appearance based on which equip has it. Soldiers is brightly coloured, gold insignia, longer visor covering his eyes. Everything seems to cover his eyes, including his helmet. The Medic's is shorter. It's got a silver insignia and a shorter visor. And the Heavies is bronze, copper coloured insignia and a shorter visor. And it has similar colour for both teams for the Heavy, whereas the Soldiers is brightly coloured as to the team. Basically was introduced in the game in 2011 in the May patch. It is very similar resemblance to a character word in the Street Fighter franchise called M. Bison. Basically, I think it's in a reference is the yes part of the Team Captain comes from the M. Bison and the Street Fighter game reference. This is a picture of Bison in Street Fighter. So basically it comes in unique, unusual and collector's qualities, level 1 to 100, and it is a hat which is no longer unboxable in its unique forms, and is very rarely available in terms of its unusual forms, and there's been a falling number of them becoming available. Okay, so from looking at the stats, I think last year only 7 were unboxed, and I think like 14 this year. The new multi-class crates and new crates, you basically can't unbox them, so you have to go back to the old Manco crates to unbox them, as I've mentioned. So if you actually look on Community Market, there are actually no there are no non-unusual team captains available. No collectors. Let's have a look and see what's on the market. I mean, all up there's 3 pages. 82 bucks. Bubbling, Aces High, Steaming, and Green Confetti, as you'd expect down the bottom. Nuts and Bolts, Orbiting Planets, Steaming. If you go to the second page, and you're all up to $172. Smoking, Blizzardy Storm, Cloud9, Circling Peace, Power Surge, Kilowatt, with a spell, Voices from Below. Okay. Blizzardy Storm, Vivid Plasma, Searing Plasma. The third page, and you're up to Mass Flies. Mass Flies? Holy fuck. Wouldn't touch it with a fucking stick. $700, almost $800. So in the community markets, there's lower tier effects, many of which are actually overpriced. So really, the team captain is not really a growing number of hats. They virtually can't be unboxed. There won't be many more of them coming up. But the question is, are they something that are there enough of them around to keep the prices relatively down? If there were 50 of them, I suspect their prices would be a lot higher across the board in terms of unusual effects. But at the time, a lot of them were unboxed, and there's still enough of them around. But I guess in terms of looking after specific numbers of them, like the portal effects and so on, they may actually become more valuable in the future. And certainly, to get things like collectors team captains are virtually unheard of. They're astoundingly rare. So the team captain is an interesting hat. It's only unboxable on early crates, and it's something I've just reviewed just so people are aware of what is happening with the team captain piece. So let's look at the ride of the price of the Burning Team Captain. Back in January the 13th, $4,000, and then it came to a peak here of $15,000. More recently, the price is down around 11. 8 exists, 7 exists, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6, 6, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4. What happened? Did one get destroyed? 4, probably went into a private backpack. 8. So I think some of these things are in private backpacks. So it's been quite a roller coaster. Here currently 7 are thought to exist. I think there's probably more because I think some of them are in private backpacks. Okay, so people have asked, can you still unbox team captains? And certainly I believe you can in unusual forms. They are, however, extremely rare. So I guess this is a Reddit page that looked at team captains and whether or not they could be boxed or unboxed. Basically, somebody has assumed there's a 1 in 100 chance of getting unusual for a crate. Well, that's probably close. It's probably a little bit less than that. And that there are 337 hats in TF2 and 66 types of unusuals. And they say there's an extremely low chance of getting a Burning Team Captain. But I think not all the effects are equal, and not all the hats are equally weighted. So I think it's actually even less than that. So yeah, so they are getting 2 back-to-back team captains is absolutely fucking bizarre and remote. So basically, this is a 1 in 150, so someone contests that. Okay, so it depends on what crate you're boxing. people say it's only the first generation crates you can get a team captain, and Valve has more or less said that theoretically you could get a you could get a team captain out of the newer crates. I know that for a fact first generations have come out of a 91 crate. I was always under the impression that it was a 25 series crate or less. So basically you can heighten the chance of getting a boxing, but just remember the early crates don't tend to have strange weapons, so you often end up spending a key to get crappy weapons that aren't even strange and are barely worth a couple of ref metal. So you've just got to be wary that obviously you are unboxing to try and find something, but if you're doing it commercially to look for unusuals, you're probably better using later crates, as you have a highest chance of getting strange items and other things that are more saleable. But theoretically you should have a higher chance of getting first generation burning effects on the crates at 25 and under, and theoretically a higher chance of a team captain. But be aware that the chances of getting a team captain are equivalent to the chance of a snowball's chance in hell, which is basically sweet fuck all. Okay, as the last point, the price system, the prices of these things are labile. Now, you do have exceptions in various things where this is a burning team captain that is around about 4,000 keys. Now it may be duped, it might have some other reason about it, but you do have instances where they come down in price. This is the team captain for 1,500. This is the green burning back, sunbeams, antifreeze team captain, professional morning glory team captain, flaming lantern, sulphurous, circling heart, a number 89 89 team captain, an overclock team captain, stormy storm team captain, some uncraftable team captains that are available, and so yeah, I mean, you can still get the other ones off various markets, although you can't really unbox them new. So that's some other stuff about market and team captains, and I'll just sort of as a last point go over some other issues with regards to team captains after this. Okay, just looking at this item, this is the item that's for sale, the Burning Team's captain on Marketplace, and the Marketplace put this nice little thing so you can look at the item's history on Backpack, which I think is a very responsible thing to do. I mean, I thought of buying this item, but it's been through the mills. I mean, it's basically this is the most recent person to have this, and if you go down, there's a couple of people here that have had it that are scammers, and here, so it's quite an old. I mean, the item comes back to it's around here, and a lot of these guys have actually been banned. I mean, look at all these. Late Gun was a famous scammer, and it's really been handed between lots of people who are now banned. It's even basically ended up with Bob, but then it went back into a few different people. It's passed back and forward. Yeah, so it's basically had a really even the Great Geel briefly held this Burning Team captain. So this team captain's seen more action than Joan Collins. So my God, Jesus Christ! Every man and his dog have had this item, and it's come into probably back in 2000. I mean, how did this? I mean, I don't know how this came into. What's this here? Viewed other entries by this user. So I guess the thing is is this duplicated trade here? Duplicated, duplicate, 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 duplicate. So it's it's a duped hat. So this is a duped hat. Oh my God! So they're selling this as a duped hat on Marketplace. There's no indication that it's a duped hat, but this must be a duped hat. So I guess that's the thing. I mean, obviously this is a duped hat. It's level 3 effect. Yeah, I mean, I reckon this is a duped hat. I'm going to ask a couple of other guys, but I mean, I guess this goes to show you when you're actually shopping for stuff, people like me who's a collector, we look at this and see whether this is duped. So this is probably, I mean, back here, duplicated in 2013, and it's probably been duplicated a few times since. Now, is that the latest one? Duplicate traded here, duplicate traded here, duplicate traded here. So this hat, this is a guy that we're currently buying from. Did he buy this as a duplicate or you're back then? So this hat has either seen a lot of action or something with the same number has been encoded multiple times and traded. So yeah, it's interesting. So is this the same item? I assume this is this. Is this the for item number? Is this the same item? I'm trying to work this out. So I'm gonna. I mean, if you're not sure, ask somebody else who you know and trust as a trader and say, look, hey, is this a duplicated hat? And that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to go to one of my advisors now and say, hey, dude, I saw this hat. I kind of liked it, but is it a duplicate? And am I going to get ripped off?